Hello. Thank you for tuning in to Lawana's Urban Voices. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, giving me feedback and comments. Love it. I'm so excited. Um, I was going to talk about um, the insurrection only because people are still being sentenced from the insurrection. But then, as I was preparing my thoughts of what I wanted to say about that, I came across the craziest story I've ever heard. So, we have this Houston rapper in Texas who is accused of kidnapping. So, he supposedly met this woman 4 or 5 years ago. She was homeless and pregnant. And he met her, told her he was going to help her get off the streets, whatever, and took her back to his house. Well, when she got back to his house, he pretty much locked her up in his garage that he had turned into like a makeshift prison. So he locks this woman up in her garage for about, she says 4 to 5 years. She's lost track of time. She has no idea. And when they find her, she's 5'2", she weighs 70 pounds, and she's pregnant. They never said what happened to the first baby from 5 years ago, but now she's pregnant. They found her with not being bathed, very crusty, a very horrible stench in an area with a makeshift toilet and then a mattress full of all kinds of nasty things. So, what happened was the lady somehow figured out how to get access to the house so she could leave. So he was gone. He thought she was locked up in the garage. Somehow she managed to get access and she left. Now, this is the kicker part. This happened. She got freed over 9 months ago. 9 months. And they're just now arresting him for kidnapping because, let me tell you why. He said they were in a romantic relationship and she's mad. So, no, I didn't kidnap her. We were in a romantic consensual relationship. And even though she was locked in the garage with the makeshift toilet, not allowed to bathe, weighing only 70 pounds, she was not being mistreated. She was my girlfriend. That's how I treat my girlfriend. That's how you treat your girlfriend? She has a totally different story. They collected a lot of evidence from his house, but I guess they needed the time to make sure they had a case that would actually stick. The thing is, we don't know if she had the second baby because this was several months ago when she was found. So we don't know where the second baby is. They didn't say anything about the first baby. So rest assured, I am going to be all over this story, trying to figure out what happened and bring you guys some more updates. But I thought that was the craziest thing. Like the craziest thing. Wasn't even on my radar to talk about today, but I just had to put that out there. Women and men, it can happen either way. When you meet somebody for the first time, my thoughts are just my thoughts. When I am dating and I meet somebody out, say at the restaurant, Home Depot, wherever, I meet somebody and they said, "Hey, can we talk?" Sure. I would love to get to know you better. We can exchange phone numbers. No biggie. I'm okay with that. But when he calls and say, "Hey, can we go out on a date? I'd like to pick you up." I'm like, no, 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 not the first date or the second date. I'll meet you. Where do you want to go? So after a few dates, if I feel comfortable, then of course we can go to each other's place. But I really want to get to know that person. I want to make sure I'm talking to that person. I don't want to just show up at somebody's house and not know what kind of person I'm, dealing with. But at the same time, it can be the same for men. You show up to a woman's house, she might be crazy and lock you up or whatever. It could go either way. But we got to be careful because everybody who says they want to give you a helping hand isn't always trying to help you. I can't even imagine what this woman went through for 4 years. And they never mentioned a child. So if she was pregnant when he met her, did she lose that child or did she have that child? And then she's pregnant again and she only weighs 70 pounds. So that means he was barely feeding her. Um, and it's just crazy. I'm going to get more details because the article didn't release her name yet, but um, I can look up his name and look up the case and get more details and kind of read through it. I didn't have time to do that before this broadcast because I was just like, what? And I do know that dating is becoming more and more dangerous for men and for women. It's just becoming dangerous. There was an incident in Houston where this woman was dating. Her ex boyfriend told her she couldn't date, and he killed her date. She couldn't call him her boyfriend just yet, but they were pursuing a relationship, and her ex killed him because he was like, "I told you you can't date anybody but me." So even though she managed to escape what was probably an abusive relationship for her, it still didn't matter because this man was still so upset by her dating someone else that he still killed her new male friend. So I don't even know what to say. It's like dating is dangerous, not dating is dangerous, but I do know I will not live in fear, and I don't want you guys to live in fear either. I just bring you the stories that I find interesting, but we can't live in fear, but we also have got to be very careful about the people that we meet and trust automatically. I always err on the side of caution, which means that I will always be very cautious of any man trying to get to my house or my place of residence too soon. Yes. If you pushing, let me come to your house, let me come to your house. Or if they're pushing, come over here, come over here, come over here. I err on the side of caution, like, no, no, we're not ready for that yet. Let's get to know each other better. Or I want to make sure. Now, mind you, I feel as though I could protect myself if I was in that situation. But I also know that I'm not as strong as a man, no matter how much I work out, no matter how many weights I lift, I'm still not as strong as that man. So, even with that being said, I'm more than likely not able to compete with him on that level. Just just putting it out there, probably not able to compete with him on that level. But I would dang it, try to give it my best shot if something like that were to happen. But I think because I'm so overly cautious, I'm hoping that nothing like that happens to me or anybody else watching my videos because it's just crazy. You have to be, so we have to be more aware of our surroundings because people today don't have the same empathy or sympathy or compassion that they used to have. You just have no idea what you're going to be dealing with when you're dealing with that person. So I just say err on the side of caution, let everything, work its way out. But I just wanted you guys to hear that story. And they said that this Houston rapper actually owns a record label. Yeah. So he's out and about doing whatever business he has to do with a woman locked in his garage, not able to bathe, not able to take a shower, and barely eating. But he's out there doing what he do. Isn't that? I just find this story interesting, and I'm going to do some more research, and I will definitely do a follow up for you guys. Just note that. Now, my topic that I really wanted to talk about today was about this lady. Um, her name is Donnie, I think, and she has been sentenced to 5 years in jail for her part of the January 6th insurrection. They they have her on video breaking windows, resisting arrest, fighting the police officer. They got all this on record. So for 3 years since the insurrection, she's been on an ankle bracelet, kind of stuck at her house, can't go anywhere till they come down with the actual sentencing for her crime. Well, she finally got sentenced 5 years, and she's going into jail next week. Or, yeah, next weekend is supposed to when she reports to jail, prison. I guess she's going to prison. But anyway, she reports next weekend. So she did an interview with CNN. CNN came to her house because, of course, she's not allowed to leave, and did an interview with her to ask her, how do you feel now that you're about to go to jail? A mother of, I think she's a mother of 3 or 4. She has grandchildren, and now she is about to go to jail for 5 years for her part of the insurrection. This lady said, I have remorse for what I put my family through. I have remorse for how I've hurt my family. I have remorse for what this is doing to my family. But I don't have no remorse about being protesting the insurrection. I was just protesting and it got out of hand, and I didn't mentally think through all the actions. Someone handed me an ice pick and I broke the window out. I didn't think it through. I don't know who handed me the ice pick. It was so much chaos going on. I just took it, broke through the window, and tried to get in. My body was hurting because I had got beat with the baton, and I was just trying to make sure that they didn't steal the election from President Trump. And I was personally invited by the Trump. When your president tells you to come to DC because the election is being stolen, what was I supposed to do? I went to DC to support my president. And I know when he gets reelected, he's going to pardon all of us insurrectionists, and we're going to be out of jail early. So I'm going into jail knowing that he's going to win in 2024, and I will be out of jail by 2025. I was sitting there listening to this woman thinking to myself, B, you crazy. Trump ain't pardoning nobody. Mainly because he don't give a damn about you people. Yeah, he wanted y'all to go down there, and y'all did. Y'all were his puppet on a stick. We know that the insurrection was created by him. There are so many people that are in jail now, federal prison. And in federal prison, if I'm not mistaken, you have to do your time. You don't get off for good behavior or anything like that. So if you got 5 years, you got to do 5 years in Fed. So there's a bunch of people that are in jail for, some already did their 1 year, 2 years. Some people did 3. Some people got 8. But there's people already in jail. And before, once the election was certified in January, Biden didn't take over till later. So he could have pardoned or done something with those cases beforehand, but he didn't. Now he's out campaigning again, saying as soon as I'm president, I'm pardoning all the insurrectionists. Why? You guys committed a crime. You guys protested in a violent manner, which is what people do at a protest. Not all people, but some people do. Some protests can be peaceful and people just want to get their message across. But this wasn't even about being peaceful. Trump wanted y'all to storm um, the Senate, and y'all stormed the Senate. He was hoping that you guys could make up enough noise that they wouldn't be able to certify um, President Biden. And your vice president, Pence, he, even though he was going to run for president, no love. And the reason why he didn't get any love was because he would not negate the election so President Trump could stay president. He wouldn't negate it. He said, I can't do that. As the vice president, I have to go with the consensus telling me that the voting was legal, and therefore I'm going to certify Biden as the winner. Trump got so mad, press said horrible things about Vice President Pence, which put his family in danger as well. Vice President although he never said anything totally negative about Trump, but he did say he felt that what happened on January 6th should not have happened. And largely part of it was due to the Trump rhetoric. So this lady, Donnie, who's about to go to jail, says that she believes that Trump won the election and it was stolen from him. She believed that protesting was the right thing to do. Breaking into the Senate House and all of that might not have been the right thing to do, but at the time, with all the chaos, she wasn't thinking straight. She said her body was on fire from all the hitting from the batons and all of um, the hitting from the batons and all of the other people mobbing, trying to get in. So she basically said that it is what it is. And as soon as President Trump is reelected, I'm going to be pardoned and I'm going to be good. So although I'm sad that I'm going to jail, I'm going to miss my kids, I'm sad about everything that happened, I still would have went and protested. I don't blame Trump. I blame the I blame Biden for stealing the election, and I still would have went down there to protest because it was the right thing to do. And I'm sitting here listening to this interview. It's on CNN if you guys want to see it. Her name is Donnie, Doie. Um, and it's a YouTube, I mean, a CNN video. And just to listen to her talk is scary because these Trump people, people who truly believe in Trump, truly buy into the conspiracy. Now, if Trump wins the election, there's no voter fraud. If Trump loses the election, there's voter fraud. That makes no sense. It's either voter fraud or no voter fraud. You can't have it both ways, but the Trumpers want it both ways. If he wins, no more voter fraud. But if he loses, there's going to be voter fraud. And if he does win, he can only do it for 4 years. You're only allowed to have two terms as president. So what happens then? Me, truthfully, Biden and Trump are too old to be running for president. It's too much for them. They both need to stop. Trump is still saying that Mexico is going to pay for a wall or he's going to make sure the wall gets built. Trump is still saying things that makes absolutely no sense. Um, and people are still going to vote for him. So for me, the scariest part of listening to this woman say that she has no ill will against Trump. She doesn't blame Trump. It's all Biden's fault. It's scary because think about it. We're about to go into the Iowa elections, I think next week, where Trump is on the ballot. I know he's been removed from the ballot um, in a couple of other states, but he's protesting that to the fullest because he feels entitled to run our country. And he said, by his own admission, on day one of him becoming president again, he is going to operate as a dictatorship because there's a lot of things that need to be done that he doesn't feel like running by Congress or by the Senate. So he's just going to make a bunch of executive decisions and then he will play nice and go through it the proper way. And I'm sitting here thinking, is anybody else listening to him but me? How can anybody want to vote for Trump again? I know our economy is not where everybody wants it to be, and I know gas is out of control, groceries are a little bit higher, but does anybody think that that could be a trickle down effect from the pandemic? That things, because during the pandemic we had a lot of shortages, people weren't working, and as we are coming out of that pandemic era, it's not something we can recover from in a couple of years, in my opinion. Um, it's something that's going to take a couple of more years for us to fully recover. With that being said, with the election coming up, I just don't know how anybody can think Trump is the better option. I'm not saying Biden is either, but there's got to be better options on the Republican side. And the fact that the Republicans will not stand up against Trump, what does he have on these people that they will not stand up and tell the truth about what Trump is saying? I don't know. But this lady, if all the other insurrectioners think like her, we're in trouble. Because her thought process was just off. Um, no remorse for her actual crime, only remorse that she got caught, only remorse that she hurt her family, only remorse that she's going to jail. Everything else makes me say, what the hell? I just have to say, what the hell? Because it makes no sense. And I'm sitting here trying to figure it out. Like, this lady did an interview on CNN and she said, I have no remorse for protesting and for what happened on January 6th because my president told me to go up there and protest. So if your president, Trump, tells all of his insurrectioners to go to the border and build a human fence to keep the immigrants out, are you guys going down to the border to build a human fence? If your president asks you to? I mean, come on, people. I'm like, this man has, it's got to be something going on that this man is so worshipped. I don't know why. And it's very scary. And of course, you know me, I'm going to be doing some more politics later on. But we have got to make sure that we don't vote for Trump, Donald Trump. We cannot put him back in office for another 4 years. We just can't. That man made so much money off of us when he was in office. We just can't do that to ourselves again. So, with that being said, I am encouraging everybody to check out that CNN interview for yourself and tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what what you think of Trump. Am I wrong for thinking the way I think? What are your comments? I love when you guys leave me comments. I read them and I'm so happy. Thanks so much for that. But give me some feedback on this because I I just don't know what's going to happen this year for the election. I don't think Joe Biden is the right choice for the Democrats. I know Trump isn't the right choice for the Republicans, but we need options. So that's all I have to say for today. Bye bye. And thank you so much for tuning in to Luana's Urban Voices. And as always, refer a friend. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.